What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Saved by the Code, where I keep you up to date on all the latest happenings in the cryptocurrency world. And man, oh man, as usual, we got the spiciest, the juiciest stories for you today. We got all sorts of stuff from Ohio presenting a bill for a Bitcoin reserve. We got non-fungible token news. We got what else we got here? MicroStrategy buying more Bitcoin. Bitcoin ETFs flip gold funds in assets under management. So Bitcoin ETFs are now bigger than gold ETFs. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. This whole Bitcoin reserve thing is actually coming into fruition. Donald Trump pretty much confirmed that we're going to have a Bitcoin reserve. So man, oh man, are things looking bright for the crypto space. So, all right, without any further ado, let's just get right into it. The market is looking meh by meaning, oh geez, Bitcoin's at $105,000. What are we gonna do? It's dropped all the way to 105K, and we just reached an all-time high yesterday of around $107,000, $108,000. So wah boo hoo. And like I say in like every single one of my episodes, it's just so funny how quickly these prices that we surpass become like these lows now. Like it's like, oh, sub $100,000 Bitcoin is just like blah. $95,000. Ew, who wants that? That's just disgusting. I would never. Oh, Bitcoin's going to zero if it goes to $95,000. It's just ridiculous. It's just crazy how quickly things change and how fast this market moves. And you really got to, every single day, it's like every hour of every day, you have to really keep up with it because of how quickly it moves. It's a 24/7 market, unlike the stock market, which closes and opens and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So boring. Stocks are so boring. Crypto is the wave, it's where all the excitement is. And that's why I'm absolutely obsessed with it, and all I think about pretty much. There's not much going on up here in my head. It's just pretty much Bitcoin and nothing else really. Bitcoin, cats, and electronic music. It's pretty much all that's going on up there. Anyways, yeah, I got all sorts of juicy stories for you today. So let's just get right at it. First story we got for you here is this. I thought it was so important to start out with this, but these Bitcoin reserves are just like, it's like every day now. It's like news every single day now that some country or state or someone is coming out and wanting a Bitcoin reserve. And Ohio is now leading the charge in the United States for a Bitcoin reserve. It says here in Ohio, lawmaker Derek Marin is proposing a groundbreaking law to create a strategic reserve of Bitcoins within the state treasury. In the face of the dollar's devaluation and the rise of Bitcoin, this initiative marks a turning point in institutional adoption in the United States. Boom! Beautiful. Texas did it the other day, Florida, Wyoming. There's so many states, countries, Brazil, Russia, US. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's going to happen. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And I mean, the bullishness of that is just like off the charts, if you ask me, because there is not enough Bitcoin out there. There really is not enough Bitcoin. And staking your claim now is just so imperative. Not financial advice. You do with your money what you want. There's none of this information on this channel is financial advice, but if you're paying attention to what's going on, it is just too much. I mean, I don't think the human brain can process how ridiculously high the price of Bitcoin can go and how significant all of these things are, these Bitcoin reserves. And there's a reason for it. It's because every other currency on the planet is absolute trash, and the only thing we have is Bitcoin. Where else are you going to put your money? Just ask yourself, what are you going to do? Put it into real estate? Okay, that's all right, but real estate you have one copy of, and it can get destroyed in a hurricane, whatever. Maybe you have insurance for it, but it can be vandalized, whatever. There's just so many things that can happen to real estate. Bitcoin is not physical. You can have multiple copies of it. Da 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 da. It's just so much more secure, and the upside potential of Bitcoin is astronomical. And man, I mean, just the bullishness is just palpable. It's too much, and it's kicking in. It really is. I mean, we're sitting at $105,000 now, healthily, pretty healthily over 100,000. I want to see like the 110, $120,000 to really confirm that we're over 100,000. You know, I'm not super comfortable with it yet. I'm sure we could see a drop below 100,000 again. However, it is holding strong. The strength in the market is so strong. Like, we're not just like we're not just dropping. You know, it hits 107,000, it drops to 105, and it holds that level. You know, so the strength is there, and all these dips just get bought up immediately. The amount of buying that's going on Wall Street by the ETFs, it's just it's really incredible how much buying is going on. And yeah, so I mean, so many more of these bills are being proposed around the world from countries and states, and it's going to continue happening. And I guess what that does to the price: number go up, number go up, number go up. Technology activated. You know, the next story here: Ohio Representative Derek Marion introduces bill, established state Bitcoin reserve in Ohio. Yeah, da 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 da. Just like, oh, boring, lame. Who cares? You know, it's just like everyday news now. It's just like, oh, whatever. Another reserve. Oh, we need something new here. Come on, this is boring. This is so significant and so incredible. We've been waiting for these moments for years and years and years, and they're here. And they're here now. And it's just surreal to see that these things are actually taking fruition. And we'll see if they get through, if they get passed. These are just bills, but Trump has even reaffirmed his stance on a Bitcoin reserve, and has been in talks with people in the cryptocurrency world, and has been appointing pro-crypto people to the SEC, to his cabinet, all sorts of stuff. I mean, like, if you see where this is going, and it's just, this is where you get the $1 million Bitcoins from. Really, this is where you get it from, because there is not a lot of Bitcoin out there, and when it's getting gobbled up by these states, these countries, man, number go up very, very fast. So yeah, Ohio is proposing a bill to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve, just like a bunch of countries are, just like the U.S. is. Just, I mean, it's amazing that they're moving quicker than tech companies, because Microsoft just voted against not having a Bitcoin reserve, and yeah, too bad for you, buddy. But the thing is that they'll pump our bags later on. They won't buy it until it's like $5-6 trillion market cap. You know. These guys are buying it when it's like $1-2 trillion. Excuse me, coffee sip. And so it's good for us, because they'll pump our bags when it's like at 5-6 trillion. All right, yeah, we'll buy it now. Okay, boom, all right, up to 10 trillion, 20 trillion, you know. So it's just really incredible to see how this is playing out. I mean, geez, this is like a pipe dream. Back in 2017, the fact that these news stories are actually becoming a reality. And so we got more Bitcoin Reserve stuff here. It says here, Bitcoin Reserve executive order out after Trump meets with Crypto.com CEO Marzalek. He met with the crypto industry leader, Chris Marzalek, to prepare an order for a Bitcoin reserve in a bid to strengthen U.S. financial landscape. I mean, this is just crazy stuff. This is just incredible stuff, and it's just like, this is the things that are happening every day, and Trump is not joking around here. Like, he's gonna do it. There's going to be a Bitcoin reserve in the United States, probably maybe not on day one, maybe on day one. I wouldn't be surprised if he sits down and signs this executive order saying we have a Bitcoin reserve, or some kind of bill gets passed through, because he is not joking around here. It says, all Bitcoin that the government possesses, including those obtained in forfeiture cases, shall be consolidated under the strategic Bitcoin reserve within 7 days. Yeah. It also ensures that the reserve will have strict audits and security standards. And man, I mean, the fact that this is even being talked about and about to be implemented is just incredible. It says here the Treasury must also establish a program within 60 days to acquire and manage its Bitcoin holdings. The order is an effort to cement the United States' leadership in digital assets, which will build economic resilience and global financial supremacy. Yeah, and Trump's all about America first, and he is saying that if we don't do it first, China, Russia, all the other ones will, and it's totally true. Totally true. And that's a huge reason as to why he's doing this, is because he wants America to be first at it. He wants us to be the crypto powerhouse where all the Bitcoin's made. And man, oh man. Even says in this article, at the same time, Derek Moran, who leads the Ohio House of Representatives, has also produced a bill introducing a state-backed Bitcoin reserve. Florida's doing this. Texas is doing this. I mean, it's just incredible. And the Bitcoin price is reflecting that. We're at $106,000. I'd have a hard time seeing Bitcoin going below $100,000 ever again. The bullishness is just too much for me to handle. It says here in some document here, I'm seeing executive order on designating Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset within the exchange stabilized fund. By the authority vested in me as President of the United States by the Constitution and laws of the U.S., including it is hereby ordered as followed. As global finance increasingly integrates digital assets and new economic instruments, the U.S. must adapt its financial strategies to maintain stability and leadership in the global economy. Bitcoin is a decentralized and finite store of value akin to digital gold, which attributes that can bolster with unique attributes that can bolster the resilience of the U.S. dollar and support American economic interests. I mean, this is crazy. He's going to sign an executive order for a Bitcoin strategic reserve. And man, oh man, you go Donnie T. And this is just so... this is unprecedented. And I can't believe this is what's happened over the course of the past year. I didn't think he would be this into it. And he's just like full on, just like, let's go. Bitcoin reserve. Let's do it. Here's some highlights from it. Established of the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. The Strategic Bitcoin Reserve is hereby established to be administered by the Secretary of the Treasury with the goal of enhancing the diversity of the U.S. reserve assets, consolidation of government Bitcoin holdings. Any Bitcoin, including the United States, shall not be sold, swapped, auctioned, or otherwise encumbered, and upon the acquisition of the legal title to such Bitcoin be transferred by the head. Bitcoin is hereby designated a strategic reserve asset suitable for purchase and holding within the ESF, whatever that stands for. Within 60 days of the date of this order, the Secretary of the Treasury is hereby directed to implement an acquisition program for Bitcoin to acquire and manage Bitcoin within the ESF. It's just crazy. The fact that I'm even saying these words, like, I feel like I'm in a dream. Like, it's unbelievable. He is including as Commerce Secretary and Paul Atkins to lead the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in his coming term, which has further cemented his pro-crypto stance. I mean, this is just... what more... How much bigger could it get than entire countries putting Bitcoin into their reserves? It's just absolutely mind-blowing. And I saw this would happen. I knew it would happen. I knew the Bitcoin would be used as a reserve to peg other currencies too. It's just incredible to see it coming to fruition. So yeah, it's confirmed that there is going to be a Bitcoin strategic reserve in the United States, and other countries will follow suit. It's just so funny all of a sudden after Trump announced this, all these other countries want to do it. States want to do it. The Trump effect is very real. It's just very real. And the fact that he's doing this just says volumes about the guy and his pursuit of absolute... because Bitcoin is freedom. It's freedom money. And if you're against that... I mean, you didn't hear any of this being talked about in the previous administration. None of it. Not even a peep. And now all of a sudden Trump's in. We're talking about Bitcoin reserves, all this stuff. to preserve the U.S. dollar dominance. I mean, it was just America last before in the previous administration, and now it's America first. And we're willing to do things like this to preserve that, because we need to take some drastic measures here. We're $36 trillion in debt, and Bitcoin is a very a way out of that, if you ask me. And Cynthia Loomis is a senator from Wyoming proposing a bill to sell gold in order to acquire Bitcoin over the course of the next couple of years, acquire 1 million Bitcoin over the next 5 years, and use those profits to pay off this ridiculous amount of debt we have. So, man, oh man, it's incredible that it's coming to fruition. All right, moving on to some NFT stuff. NFTs are coming back with a vengeance. These pudgy penguins, man, they've gone from like 8 ETH to like 30 ETH. Now they're crashing again, but I mean, like, NFTs are coming back, and I thought they would. They released their token just recently, Pengu token, literally just today. And it crashed like 50%, but I'm sure we'll see a massive comeback. So NFTs are really coming back with a vengeance, and I'd keep an eye on them because I think they're really going to come back very strongly. They're not over. I mean, people love digital collectibles, and I thought they were really cool. I worked for an NFT project back in 2021, and I was skeptical towards them, but after actually seeing it firsthand, how excited people were, and the utility of them, and just working firsthand in this project. I worked for an NFT project. It was a physical NFT art gallery where we would travel to 10 different cities, minting 1,000 different NFTs in 10 different cities. And it was like the coolest thing in the world. I got to meet so many people and got exposed to the actual NFT whole thing firsthand. And it was really awesome. And so I'm definitely an advocate of NFTs, and their volumes are surging. They're really coming back quite a bit here. So I would kind of start paying attention to NFTs again. I know they're kind of been on the back burner. No one cares about them, but this is how crypto works. Things go away, things come back, things go away. You got to kind of follow the narratives. And I think NFTs are really going to come back with a vengeance, especially these Pudgy Penguins ones. They're crazy. I mean, some of these NFTs have gone from like 0.0 ETH to like 100 ETH in like a very short amount of time. And Pudgy Penguins are leading the charge there. It's pretty amazing. The floor price went from 206, it rose 206% in the past week or so. Pudgy Penguins are leading the charge. And grab yourself some NFTs, folks. Not financial advice, but they're really cool. They're really fun. I like them. And if you have any doubts about them, just check them out. They're just really fun to play around with. They're just these digital collectibles that you kind of like form an attachment to, because it's like they're like these little JPEGs that cost a lot of money, but you see your cute little like penguin or something on there, and it's like you kind of form an attachment to it, And it's hard to let them go, but hey, if you see the price of them go up, it's a lot easier to let them go. Pudgy Penguins are coming back. They released a token called Pengu. Pudgy Penguins released a coin just today. It dropped 50% immediately, but I'm sure it will bounce back a lot. That's usually how it goes with an airdrop. They drop tokens to people, and then it just drops because everybody sells. But then the dip, people buy up the dips. And they got a coin now, Pudgy Penguins. Go check it out. It's probably going to see a big comeback. It just came out today, literally, December 18th. And we'll see what happens with that. But I think it will see a significant surge. In the NFTs right now, Pudgy Penguins, you can't buy one for cheaper than $100,000. But I think they dropped like 50% recently. So maybe it's like 50 grand for a little Pudgy Penguin. NFTs coming back with a vengeance. Really cool to see, because I thought this would happen. I didn't think they were just going to be going away. It's trading on a number of different exchanges. Significant portion. Tokens launch follows soaring popularity of NFTs. It's crazy. Pudgy Penguins just went up from like $40,000 for an NFT to over $100,000. I think some have sold for like a $500,000. So yeah, the NFT boom is coming back, and get yourself some NFT, folks. Not financial advice, but yeah, it's really cool to see. I really like NFTs, and they're they're just fun. They're just like fun digital collectibles, and everybody likes collectibles. People like collectibles. You know, people are willing to pay absurd amounts of money for pieces of art that look like a fourth grader drew them. Nothing against fourth graders, but I mean, like, it just looks silly, physical art, and they'll sell for like $1 million. So it's the same exact thing. People buying literally JPEGs on a blockchain for hundreds of thousands of dollars because it's a digital collectible and it's a one-on-one. Yeah, NFT's coming back with a vengeance, and we'll see how this goes. But I'm paying attention to it, and I got some NFTs myself that I'm holding on to, and I'm gonna see where they go, just for fun. I bought some super cheap ones that used to be super high, and then they tanked, but they're coming back. It's really cool to see. All right, next story here. MicroStrategy and others are taking on billions of debt to buy more Bitcoin. MicroStrategy is just so crazy. They just keep on taking out debt to buy tons of Bitcoin. I think they did it again. Just bought another. What does it say? Balance sheet. They own 439,000 Bitcoin for $46 billion at a current price of $106,000. Yeah, it's just insane how much money these that MicroStrategy's been buying. Let's see here, 18 billion, intended to raise another. They just keep raising and raising money just to buy more Bitcoin. And if this play plays out, man. Sorry, coffee. They are, I mean, his stock price is going up, Bitcoin's going up. I mean, can this last? Is it sustainable? I don't know. Because if the Bitcoin price drops a lot, he's screwed. He's effed. He's got all these debts to pay back. And, but I don't think it will. I mean, what's been happening in the regulatory landscape and with the election, I mean, this is just the beginning. Like, I really do see Bitcoin going to $500,000 plus this cycle because of how much bullishness there is and the confirmation of this Bitcoin strategic reserve. I really don't think, I mean, the sky's the limit. It's just insane, the amount of bullishness that's going on in the space right now, and it's really hard to find bearish news. You know, you may be thinking in these times, you know, rose-colored glasses, everything's wonderful, everything's perfect, oh my gosh, what could happen, this and that. And, you know, I did an analysis on the Roger Ver Tucker Carlson interview where Roger Ver comes out and he seems like a whistleblower saying that Bitcoin's changed, it was hijacked, all this stuff. But if you really know the facts of the matter, Roger Ver is kind of I respect him, but he's kind of a hack because he tried to do the exact thing to Bitcoin that he's claiming is being done to Bitcoin. He tried to hijack it back in 2017. The big block war, the big block and small block wars. Read into it. There's some links down in my description. It's really interesting. But nonetheless, Roger Ver loses all credibility to me because of what he did in 2017 with Bitcoin Cash. So just watch out, folks. There's a lot of FUD out there, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You just got to really sift through the facts and get your information properly, and don't just take things for face value. You know, you see a headline, you watch a video, and you get all freaked out, and you think that's the facts. Look deeper into it, because there are so many things that were missed in that Tucker Carlson Roger Ver interview that so many people don't know about, and it's really important that you do your research and just really know what's going on. So it says here, like I mentioned, convertible notes, however, are not free money. As mentioned previously, once the notes reach full maturity, holders can decide to convert them for equity at an agreed upon price per share or redeem them for cash if the stock has underperformed expectations. So, yeah, Michael Saylor's taking on some risk here, but he just sees the upside potential of Bitcoin, and it's been working out for him like clockwork. It's kind of crazy. And I think there is massive upside for Bitcoin still, and I think his play will play out, but he just keeps taking out so much debt. And it's like a money glitch, literally. He takes out all this debt, buys Bitcoin with it, and price goes up. He's just converting trash money into real money. Like, you put your trash money into the Bitcoin ATM and, oh, wow, I get real money. Wow, it's amazing. So I really hope it plays out for him, and it really is playing out for him. I'm sure his shareholders are super happy. MicroStrategy stock has just been going through the roof. So good for you, MicroStrategy. And yeah. And a little brief note on how convertible notes work. Convertible notes are a financial tool that allows companies to quickly raise funds without needing to provide collateral, as they would for a loan, or to immediately dilute their stock. These bonds are priced based on the interest rate baked into them, the firm's underlying stock, the volatility of that stock, and the firm's credit's worthiness. Here's an example. In November, Bitcoin mining firm BitDeer raised $360 million by issuing convertible notes with an interest rate of 5.25%. These will mature on December 1st, 2029 at a price of $15.95 per share, which is approximately 42% higher than what these shares were trading for on November 21st when the convertible notes were priced. In other words, instead of simply buying the company's shares on the open market, investors can earn a solid yield by holding these notes while also benefiting if the stock surges. Even better, convertible notes come with a downside protection. On specific dates, such bonds can be redeemed in cash for an amount equal to the original investment plus interest payments. Put differently, investors are almost guaranteed to get their money back even if the stock plunges before the note matures. So, yeah, so it just seems like you have some protections. You get exposure to the upside potential of the stock and the underlying asset. And so, yeah, it's there's my alarm. Oops. It's quite the bet he's making, but it's working out. So, but if Bitcoin's price drops a lot, you're screwed. But it hasn't, and I think it's going to keep going up because of this new administration, and these prices are holding so strongly. Like, I mean, Bitcoin is holding at $105,000. It hasn't dropped below $90,000 since it went up. It's just so crazy how strong this market is right now. So yeah, MicroStrategy taking out more debt to buy more Bitcoin. You go, buddy. Current 1,000 Bitcoin. So there's been a proposal to change the denomination of Bitcoin. Instead of like pricing Bitcoin in one Bitcoin, they want to price it in Satoshis. So, instead of you buying one Bitcoin, you buy 10 million Satoshis, and that sounds better to people than just buying one Bitcoin. That's a real thing. Is I forget what it's called, integer bias or something. You would rather buy 10 million of something rather than one of something. And that's kind of a huge barrier for people. People see Bitcoin's price at $100,000. They're like, oh, it's too expensive. I'm not going to buy it. Lo and behold, they don't look at the market cap. They just look at the price. So many people do that. They just look at the price and they go, oh, why would I buy Bitcoin when I could buy XRP at $2 when Bitcoin's $100,000? It's like, look at the market cap. People just don't think deeper about so many things. They just look at the price, and that's the price. And there's so many differences there. There's a market cap, and no one looks at that, though. But I think it is a good idea, really, to change it from Satoshis, from Bitcoin to Satoshis. So instead of buying one Bitcoin, you buy 100 million Satoshis. I have 100 million Satoshis instead of one Bitcoin. Or I have 500,000 Satoshis instead of half a Bitcoin. Or whatever that is. 0.00005 Bitcoin. That bias is very apparent to people. And because of people failing to look at the market cap and understanding that, people just see the price and they go, too expensive, don't want to buy it. I only get 0.101 Bitcoin instead of 100,000 XRP. It's like, it's so silly and it's so superficial and people just don't look deeper, but that's just how it goes. I hope this goes through because I would like to see that. And personally, I would rather own 12 million satoshis other than 12 Bitcoin, or 120 million satoshis other than 12 Bitcoin. It just sounds nicer. I don't know. And that's how a lot of people operate, and I think that might be a barrier to a lot of people. They don't want to buy $100,000 Bitcoin. They'd rather buy $100 million satoshis. Oh, look how many more satoshis I have, even though it's the exact same thing. But people just can't look deeper into like anything. Yeah, there's a proposal out right now that this might happen, and that would be cool. I support it, and I think it would lower the barrier for people to get in, because there's even people like I work with. They're like, oh my god, it's 100,000. It's too expensive. What am I gonna do? And I'm like, look at the market cap. Do you see the upside? And they don't even understand that. They're like, what's market cap? Well, what does that mean? What about XRP? It's $1. You just shake your head and you're like, I can't explain this to you. And these are like smart people. They're like doctors, and they're just like, it's too expensive. I can't buy that. I can't buy a whole Bitcoin. And I'm like, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. But I would rather buy XRP. It's so much cheaper. I get so many more. And it's just so silly. So I think this would actually help, people like this getting into the market more so if they see that they can get more coins. They don't really get more coins. They just get more coins because it's denominated differently. It's so silly, but so many people fail to understand that. So many people fail to understand. You got to look at the market cap. The market cap is the most important thing. You have XRP's market cap at like 100 billion and Bitcoin's at 2 trillion, and XRP can go from 100 billion to a trillion, and it will go from $2 to $20, but they like seeing that it's only $20. Bitcoin's $100,000. Oh man, what am I gonna do? So there's a proposal out to change that, and I hope it gets enacted because I think it would really it would just lower those barriers for people, that can't, for some reason, can't conceptualize looking at market cap and circulating supply and just can't compute that. All they just see the price. That's all people see, the price. Oh, the price. I'd rather buy something that's at 50 cents than 100,000. And they don't understand the fundamentals behind the project, and that's just how most people work. They're just like, all they see is price. That's all they see. They don't understand how it works, what's behind it. They see, oh, XRP $2, I want to buy that. Bitcoin 100,000, I don't want to buy that. Oh, look at this one. It's only 3 cents. Dogecoin, look, it's 0.004 cents. Why would I buy that instead of XRP? It's cheaper. It's just like, people, you got to look at circulating supply and market cap, okay? And that'll tell you the potential of how high the price can go. The price is so insignificant. The price is the last thing you should be looking at. You should be looking at circulating supply and market cap. But even when you explain that to people, they're just like, duh. What does that mean? I don't know. Duh. Man. The failure of people to look deeper into like anything is just like mind-blowing to me. Like smart people too. These people aren't dumb. It's just like they just so. Even when I've even tried to explain this to people. You're like, okay, the circulating supply is this. You divide that by the market cap, or what do? You divide market cap by circulating supply, and you arrive at the price. Okay, and they're like, oh, but XRP is cheaper, and it's just like, okay, I can't help you. I don't know what to tell you. But anyways, I hope they do that. That would be great. Pricing Bitcoin in Satoshis, because then people would be like, oh, I get 100,000 Satoshis instead of 0.0001 Bitcoin, So hopefully that goes through. We'll see what happens. This was a really interesting story. This next one, Bitcoin ETFs flip gold funds in assets under management. On December 16, U.S. spot and derivative Bitcoin ETFs collectively broke $129 billion in net assets, surpassing gold ETFs for the first time. Yeah, this is crazy. So Bitcoin's better than gold is pretty much what this is saying. Which held an amount just shy of that figure. So gold ETFs are just shy of $129 billion assets under management. Yeah, it's really cool to see. Spot Bitcoin versus 125 billion for gold. If you just look at the new assets, ETF 129, US ETF assets under management. Yeah. So gold assets under management and ETFs have been passed by Bitcoin. Bitcoin is better than gold. I'm going to come out here and say it. Sorry, buddy. It just is. And the numbers say it. Says here, spot Bitcoin ETFs launched in January following a lengthy Since then, Bitcoin has dominated the ETF landscape. U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs broke $100 billion in net assets for the first time in November, according to data from Bloomberg. The surge in Bitcoin ETF net assets reflects a more positive outlook for the future of Bitcoin after Trump's election, which boosted performance and brought over $5 billion in inflows. Stop! BlackRock share with nearly $60 billion, so it's passing gold. Literally, people want Bitcoin ETFs more than gold. It's just like gold's boring. It's boring. Like, I'm an advocate of gold. Yeah, it's cool, it's great, it's nice, it's shiny, but you ain't gonna make any money on gold. You're not making any money on gold. And people argue it's physical. You can do this with electronics and this and that. It's this and that. But what about Bitcoin? The use case of Bitcoin. Yeah, you can use gold and electronics. You can make pretty diamonds out of it or rings and that and whatnot, but the price of it doesn't go up at all, and it's very hard to move. It's very hard to store. It's very hard to verify that it's legitimate gold. Bitcoin solves all those issues. You can move as much Bitcoin as you want immediately. You can store Bitcoin way easier, and you can verify the authenticity of Bitcoin instantly. With gold, what if there's a gold bar in the middle of its hollow? It's just hard to, and you don't understand if it's pure 100% gold. There's those things to consider as well. So, and there's not a finite amount of gold out there. The more energy you put into mining gold, the more gold you'll pull out. The more energy you put into mining Bitcoin, you will not pull more Bitcoin out. It's just these guys like Peter Schiff that refuse to accept the fact that Bitcoin is something. He won't admit it's better than gold, but it is a competitor to gold. In fact, it is better than gold. But this guy is just unreal. This Peter Schiff guy, he just won't do it. It's so funny. Another one here: Bitcoin ETFs overtake gold in major market shift. Says here, Bitcoin spot ETFs in the United States have overtaken gold ETFs in assets under management, making a significant shift in investor preference. The milestone reflects the growing popularity of Bitcoin as a modern alternative to traditional assets like gold. Despite gold ETFs having a 20-year advantage, Bitcoin ETFs have surged ahead with just a year after their launch in 2024. It's just all these things are just pointing to Bitcoin going to these ridiculous numbers. It's really, I'm a believer that Bitcoin's going to $1 million a cycle. That's just me. Call me psycho, but I just, all the news I see and all the things that are happening, it's just, we're going to 1 million, folks. At least close to it. 999,999. The fact that this kind of stuff is happening, that's a major shift. Bitcoin ETFs have surpassed Bitcoin or gold ETFs, and Bitcoin ETFs have been around for not even a year. And the regulatory landscape is just clear. It's so friendly, like the environment. It just doesn't stop. And I just think we're just going to see continued growth. It's just incredible. Here, another story, another bullish story. Says here, no to CBDC, yes to Bitcoin. European MP calls for Europe Bitcoin Reserve. Another Bitcoin Reserve thing. European lawmaker Sarah Nafo called on the European Union to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve while rejecting the proposed adoption of the digital euro as central bank. It's just everything else is just such trash. Everything is trash, and everybody's saying it. And it's just insane. This is happening everywhere. Um, Says, quote, "We do not want this dystopian world where a European bureaucrat will be able to tomorrow to ban certain transactions and even eliminate us from banking system with a click from us." So ECB plans to decide on a digital euro in 2025. So yeah, they want a Bitcoin reserve too. It's just like a trend now. All of a sudden, Trump says he wants one, and oh, everybody wants one. What do you know? Hey, oh, you know, it's crazy. Provided a Bitcoin speech before the UA Parliament. She gave a speech and wants a Bitcoin reserve. I mean, it just doesn't stop, people. It really doesn't stop. If you're paying attention to this stuff, it's just unstoppable. All right, I got to wrap it up here soon. Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis, 2025 will be the year for Bitcoin and digital assets. Yes, it will be. The bull run has just begun. It has just begun, and she is just she is a bull. She says she wants to accumulate 1 million Bitcoin, 5% of the total supply over 5 years, and sell gold to do so. The Bitcoin Act is going to be transformative for this country. With a strategic Bitcoin reserve, we will have an asset that before 2045 can cut our debt in half. Yes, 100% agree. It's just nuts, all these things that are happening. And I'm sorry I'm rushing through this episode, but it's just, there's too much news to cover in this period of time. And I try to keep my episodes around 45 minutes. And it just keeps happening. It keeps happening. Got some Ripple news. Ripple's new stablecoin RLUSD officially launched. Will XRP pump even harder? Yes, it will. So Ripple's got a US dollar stablecoin that got approved by the some regulatory agency, approved from the New York Department of Financial Services. So it's like these approvals are going through the pro crypto legislation. I mean, the SEC is for crypto. It is just mind-boggling, and this is just the beginning. I mean, it's just taking over. And this is where you see the $1 million Bitcoins from. And I think it's going to happen so much quicker than everybody can think. People's faces will melt off their faces. Like, you're going to see people walking around, their faces are just melting. Like, their skin's on the ground. You're going to be like, "Are you okay, man?" It's just like, no, Bitcoin's price is at $1 million. And they're like, their faces are melting. Oh my gosh. I'm melting. Wah, wah. You know, that scene from Roger Rabbit. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, I think this will spur another big run up in XRP's price. Okay, not that one. One of the last stories here. Trump delivers speech at Washington Crypto Policy Summit. Goodwill speech. Trump says that they'll do something great with Bitcoin. Our business in the United States rather than in China and some other place. He wants he wants the US to be the crypto capital of the world. And that's just so huge. Bitcoin mining. You know how many more companies are going to come back to the US because they left because the prior administration booted them out because of the ridiculous regulations? It's just horrible. 7 out of 10 crypto investors took the Canada's digital issue policies into consideration when choosing who to vote for. The view of the future of crypto as one of the top issues facing the U.S. 25% of the voters own crypto now. It's just if you're paying attention, the trend now is just incredible. It's just surreal where we are right now. And the bullishness is just too much for my brain to handle. And I think it's too much for a lot of people's brains to handle. XRP is going to $20, Cardano 10, Bitcoin's going to $500,000. I mean, it's just unbounded. And the fact that Trump might remove taxes on cryptos made in the United States, including Bitcoin, including Ethereum, I mean, it's just too much. And you may be asking yourself, is it too positive? Is it too good to be true? And I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a black swan event that destroys all of this, but nonetheless, the bullishness for crypto is here, and it won't stop because of these pro this pro crypto administration that is in power right now. But I don't have a little educational section for you here. I just wanted to do this. It's kind of early in the morning here. I just wanted to get this out because I hadn't put a video out for a little bit. We're at 45 minutes. I don't want to take too much of your time up here. So I really appreciate everybody listening. I hope you enjoyed that, keeping you up to date with all the crazy happenings in the crypto world. We are going to the moon, folks. It's just undeniable. And Bitcoin's sitting at 105,000. This is cheap. This is cheap Bitcoin. Very cheap Bitcoin. I'm seeing $1 million in the next year or two. So, all right. Really appreciate everybody listening. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, leave a comment. And yeah, get saved by the code. I appreciate you listening. Until next time, I bid you farewell on your cryptocurrency journey.